A brand new Epstein shocker just revealed, ladies and gentlemen, and it is bad boogie for the Democrats. There's a part of me that almost feels, because our commander in chief is such a stalwart of, that's why they call him the art of the deal, the master of the deal. And he knows people, he knows how to maneuver. He's a master politician. He's graduated. He didn't know what he was doing really the first time around in 2017, but all of that has changed. Maybe he was doing this all on purpose. I've got some leaked text messages between a Democratic representative, Stacey Plaskett, and our boy, Jeffrey Epstein. Well, he's not our boy. That sounded weird, but this is like the man of the hour. I wish we could bury this. I wish we could just move on to saving our country, but it just keeps coming up over and over. The Democrats were, thinking it was Christmas, an early Christmas gift, with these ridiculous emails that the Democrat House Oversight Committee released 4 or 5 days ago. And all you saw online, all you saw in woke apparatus media outlets and network television was, Jeffrey Epstein just said in an email that he's seen a lot of terrible people, but Trump takes the cake, as if that is something of a flex. That the worst individual, you could argue, at least in the ring of the worst individuals that have ever walked the earth, and I think anybody who takes advantage of children is definitely the most vilest, disgustingest thing. Is disgustingest a word? Probably not. As if that's some kind of flex, that the worst, vilest creature that ever walked the earth thinks that President Trump is a bad person. That's a flex? I would think that if the worst, vilest creature that ever walked the earth actually liked me, there's something wrong with me. Well, it's all turned. And it's all turned dramatically. I've got so much to share with you today, as well as not only some breaking stories here with Epstein, but I've also got a clip from Epstein book author Barry Levine, who tells CNN what he thinks Epstein meant in that 2011 email about Trump, where, the email said the dog hasn't barked is Trump. He's going to explain what that means, as well as Trump's fierce response. Oh, you're going to love that. But first, check this out. So here's the deal. Flood of newly released Epstein-related emails just detonated in Washington. And despite Democrat attempts to smear President Trump, the blast has backfired big time. This is absolutely huge. Here's what unfolded. So Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer just accused, I can't stand this guy, couldn't have happened to a better person, Ratty Rat Raskin. He is like I'm gonna quote Epstein here, but in reference to Jamie Raskin. I've seen some ratty, disgusting, soulless mooks of my lifetime. Boy, this Ratty Raskin, he is the gutter. He is almost like the swamp of Washington's originator. He's like the OG swamp vermin, this Jamie Raskin. Well, check this out. Apparently, Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer just accused Raskin of coordinating with prison officials to leak confidential attorney-client communications, and then he lied to America, saying it was a whistleblower who assisted him. But it wasn't. He bribed prison officials. The Democrats, it's like, okay, let me see. Swalwell, swallows well, mortgage fraud, Schiff, mortgage fraud, Obama, Russia collusion, Pelosi, insider trading, stock market crimes of God knows what. The list goes on and on. Letitia James, mortgage fraud. Accusation is equal to confession, folks. There's a pretty good chance, if you're a Democrat or you know somebody who's a Democrat, there's probably a 50% or higher chance or likelihood that they're criminals. It just keeps coming out over and over again. And Raskin is the latest in the line of criminals. Those prison officials have now been disciplined, confirming something seriously wrong took place. And then moments later, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced She is appointing Jay Clayton, acting U.S. attorney for New York City, to investigate Democrats' ties to Epstein and determine whether any crossed into criminal territory. Why? Because the newly released emails barely mention Trump, but they heavily implicate Democrats. See, what this Pam Bondi move signals is something historic, folks. The DOJ is now treating the Epstein cover-up like a grand conspiracy, similar to how federal prosecutors pursue organized crime and drug cartels. And check this out. On top of all of that, Representative Stacey Plaskett, caught red-handed with these newly released emails from the Epstein estate, colluding with the man himself. So it turns out that the House Democrat exchanged texts with Epstein on how to hurt Trump during a 2019 congressional hearing. Epstein was feeding questions to Stacey Plaskett, giving her real-time help on how to damage President Trump's reputation, newly released documents show. These are the texts that showed Epstein pontificating with Plaskett during a February 27, 2019 House Oversight Committee, in which then former president's ex-attorney Michael Cohen testified about Trump's alleged payments to mistresses to silence stories before the 2016 election. Trump, of course, denied everything. But in the text, Epstein appeared to be watching on television while Cohen, this is so bizarre, y'all, brought up former Trump executive assistant Rona Graff in his testimony. Quote, Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of secrets, Epstein texted, misspelling Graff's first name. Rona, responded Plaskett, she's a non-voting delegate representing the U.S. Virgin Islands. And then she says, quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym? That's his assistant, Epstein replied. And then you can see on the screen right here, around 10:40 a.m. Eastern time, on the day of the hearing, the broadcast feed cut to Plaskett showing her moving her mouth as if she were chewing something. At 10:41 a.m., Epstein sent this message, "Are you chewing?" "Not anymore," the person replied. "Chewing the interior of my mouth. Bad habit from middle school." At 12:50, Epstein asks his texting partner, "How much longer for you?" "Hours. Go to other MTGSs, members or whatever," the person replied. And then the quick "I'm up next" text to Epstein was sent at 2:25 p.m., minutes before Plaskett began questioning Cohen at 2:28 p.m. Epstein messaged, "Good work," at 2:34 p.m., 1 minute after Plaskett finished her questioning to Cohen. Okay, just to kind of break all this down and just to sum this up, I mean, there's over 10,000 new documents released by the Epstein estate, but the Democrats thought they were going to get Trump. Everything in those previous emails that were released, where he talked about, the dog that hasn't barked, which I'm going to share with you what Barry Levine, famous Epstein author, thinks that means, and it doesn't implicate Trump. They were all big nothing burgers. It proves that Trump thought he was a creep. It proves that Trump wanted him out of Mar-a-Lago. And it proves that he had nothing to do with it, even when Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein both said he's never been around any of the girls, any of the issues, any of the disgusting, vile things that Epstein was doing. And now all of this is coming out, which is why I said at the beginning of the video, maybe Trump is playing 4D chess. I can't wait to get. So essentially, it went from nothing burger on Trump. They were trying to do their gotcha moment to holy mackerel. This is actually the Democrats colluding with a known sex trafficker. I can't actually say it. They'll take down the video. Child abuser. I'm sorry, I can't believe I have to spell it, but that's how it is with these media companies. They're going to take down your video. I want you to see this. This needs to get out. I want you to share it. Tap that thumbs up. Please subscribe and follow. It's free. The Democrats were working with Epstein, and not just on any little small project, not just any kind of small crime, not just any kind of small financial gain or what have you, or any kind of power trip. It was all because they are consumed head to toe with hatred for one man, President Donald Trump. Check out what Barry Levine, big-time author of Epstein, says what he thinks Epstein meant by those previous emails where Epstein says, quote, the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Watch.
On that 2011 email, we'll put it up on the screen, and I will ask you, the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. What do you think he's referring to?
Well, I think Jeffrey Epstein is referring to the fact that he believes that Donald Trump talked to Michael Ryder, who was the Palm Beach police chief in 2004, and began the first investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. I suspect that Jeffrey Epstein, in his conversation or email with Maxwell, was saying he was 75% there, believing that Trump might have been the whistleblower.
Oh my God, it just gets better and better. They thought, I mean, the reason I'm laughing is none of this is funny because this guy is a complete and utter vile, evil creature. But my God, the Democrats are such momos. They are the world heavyweight champions of morons. They thought they were going to get Trump. The guy, I mean, the foremost authority on Epstein, the guy that's researched him, that wrote books about him, knows everything about him, literally said it was Trump who initiated the investigation. It was Trump who was the first to call the police and say, this guy's a creep. He needs to be behind bars. He needs to be investigated. They thought they were going to get him. You see? It's the same thing that I told my friend Stephen Gardner. I was just on his show. Go check out his channel and subscribe. It's amazing. You never ever see any post, any comment, any report, any news story, any segment that comes from any Democrat that talks about anything pro-Democrat. Why? Because they have nothing. What do? Every single story. I mean, this guy has a 95% negative publicity rate on the woke media apparatus. Everything they talk about, everything they say is anti-Trump. Nothing pro-Democrat, because there is really nothing pro-Democrat. But think about that, folks. Bitterness, hatred. Oh, it's an ugly, bad look. It will decay and rot your soul. If you don't let that stuff go, if you don't actually see past the hate and don't let it consume you, it will absolutely destroy you. It's poison, quite simply. Okay, here's Trump's response. Trump's response is now that the Democrats are using the Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try and deflect from their disastrous shutdown and all of their other failures, I will be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, JP Morgan, Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and him. This is another Russia scam with all arrows pointing to the Democrats. Records show that these men and many others spent large portions of their life with Epstein on his island. Stay tuned. Woo! This is why I think maybe Trump is playing 4D chess. Maybe this was the plan all along. There's no way you'll ever get me to believe in my heart that Trump doesn't care about the Epstein victims. There's no way. The man has a heart of gold. I've done more than a dozen videos of behind the scenes of people talking, telling stories that the media never shows. And I just know it with every single fiber of my soul and my being. This man is a decent man. He has no reason to ever get involved with these disgusting people like Stormy Daniels and children. Give me a break. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. And I don't believe it in my heart because of everything that I've discovered, not just through quantitative and qualitative research, but just my feeling and my be able to read people, my innate ability. There's a lot of things I'm bad at, but I'm the best at this. I can read people to a T, which is why Kamala was the worst thing that ever happened and could have happened to our country. Thank God we all made the right choice on November 5th, 2024. Trump is decent through and through. Trump has character, class, values, and principles through and through, which is why I voted for him 3 times. So when he says hoax, he does not mean that what happened to the victims was fraudulent or didn't happen. He's talking about the Democrats' ploy to try to incriminate him and implement him in the Epstein debacle, which is just not true. There's no evidence. Never mind the fact that he's denied everything. There's just no evidence. So they don't have any. They just keep making stuff up. I want to share this one last video with you, which I think to me is demonstrative of everything you need to know about the Democrats. And it goes back to that Representative Stacey Plaskett. This is a really weird clip. Last year, there was a committee to investigate the censorship and banning of accounts on social media for allegedly posting, quote, disinformation and misinformation. This comes from the great Maze Moore. I love Maze. Plaskett defended that social media censorship, and then immediately and strangely, she pivoted to accusing Elon Musk of trying to take away her free speech. Like, what? Plaskett, after arguing in favor of censorship, she says, Elon, you don't know what I'm made of. This is America, not apartheid South Africa. Generations have fought for my right to say what I want. This just, to me, this is the Democrat Party. Watch.
Other committees, along with this one, have spent millions of taxpayer dollars interviewing senior social media executives, and particularly those that set the parameters of content moderation, to say that the sites unfairly come after conservatives. When what we have learned is that those executives have in the past tried to provide users with corrections to disinformation and misinformation, which may create health risks, put people in danger, or may have placed falsely by the enemies of our country to try to sow election disinformation and false narratives to weaken our democratic election system. This committee has been used to weaken that system, following the desires of far-right conspiracy theorists, and in particular, Elon Musk, to allow them free reign on these platforms. American civilians have been harassed, threatened, doxxed. And Mr. Musk, since you think tweeting or Xing or whatever it is you do on your platform about me is going to scare me to be quiet, you obviously don't know what I'm made of. Generations of individuals who have fought for me to have the ability to say what I want to say, to speak the truth. You forget that this is not pre-1990s apartheid South Africa, the country of your birth. This is America. And there are more of us Americans that love our diversity, our rule of law, than there are of you who would like us all to be sycophants to your ego.
It's utterly baffling. It doesn't make any sense. She wants to censor social media. She wants to act authoritarian, but then claims that you don't have any right to act authoritarian, and then gets mad at Elon. Is this just incompetence? I don't even know how she got elected. I'm sure DEI has something to do with it. Or is this just the arrogance of elitism that presumes that you, me, and every other American is stupid? Is that what this is? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will keep you posted on everything that comes of this story and everything else. Our mission here is to make common sense go viral. Please tap that thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a thing. Even if you're watching on TV, you can do it on your remote. It helps us out immeasurably. And the thing that I love asking you guys, I never ask you to do it. You don't have to pay or anything. I only ask that you watch, share, and like, but I would love it if you would leave in the comments, even if you're watching on TV, just go on your phone and do it. Let me know where you're joining me from, what city, what state, what country, what time you're watching. It just is like one of those cool things I love to see. Hearing people watch this in Johannesburg, in Singapore, Dallas, in Kansas, Nebraska, in Germany. It makes me just go like, wow, I just love it. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, it would really mean a lot to me. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.